The Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY Radio.
Wake up, America! It's time for the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY.com, West Palm Beach's #1 internet radio station. Here's your host, the Pipeman.
This is the Pipeman here on the Adventures Pipeman W4CY Radio, and I'm here with...
I'm Shiva from the band Project Mishram.
Nice. Here at Louder Than Life. Is this your guys' first time at a Danny Wimmer festival?
Yeah.
Wow. How's it feel? Like, I always hear great things about how Danny Wimmer treats artists, so I want to hear from you guys since it's your first time.
Well, we kind of applied for this festival like 4 or 5 years ago on our own, but it was a cold call and we didn't expect this to happen like 5 years later.
Nice.
And we're still like digesting that this dream is coming true, especially with bands that we watched growing up and, you know, sharing a festival with them. It's absolutely fucking insane.
Nice.
We're still digesting it. Yeah.
So, is there a band that you want to see today?
Oh, there are so many bands we want to see. Today's lineup is like Ginger, Polaris, Gojira. I mean, these are bands we've taken so much inspiration from as we've written over the last 10 years. And it's just unreal, like Shiva said, to be able to share the stage with them. A festival with them, incredible crowds. Like, Louder Than Life is probably the largest festival we have ever played at, which is awesome. So, yeah, we're very excited.
Yeah, and you were almost right. It could be Louder Than Life is larger than
Absolutely.
life.
I guess the slip of tongue was,
Right?
Yeah.
How do you compare playing over here in the U.S. compared to other countries, especially your home?
We haven't actually played a festival in our home country.
Really?
We played a lot of shows in
you had to come
venues, but
all the way over here.
Yes. Well, we played a couple of festivals in the UK, but this is definitely the festival with the largest proportions, and it's life-affirming, really. The whole experience has been really life-affirming. The
Nice.
logistics were impeccably managed for us. We've been taken care of really well.
That's a key thing that I hear a lot with artists doing this festival for years, and all the Danny Wimmer festivals, is that they really treat the artists like they make it so stress-free for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And in fact, the other DWP festivals as well, I think Aftershock, right?
Mm-hmm.
So these are all like, we applied to these like many years ago, but we'll see someday. We've also played in the UK as well.
Which
2
ones?
festivals. So we played UK Tech Fest.
Okay.
It's a prog metal festival. And then Art Tangent in 2023.
All right, cool.
Yeah, this is absolutely huge.
So there's another thing, okay? So, like, how do you compare festivals that are more like tech, progressive type of festivals compared to the rock, metal type of festivals as a band?
Sure, I think tech prog festivals, people come in there expecting to see prog music.
Yeah.
And you have a much more focused audience, like who know what they want. The cool thing about playing at a festival like Louder Than Life or a rock and metal festival in general is people don't know what to expect. And the reception has been incredible, right? I don't want to toot our own horn, but we are like kind of different from most of the other bands that play here in terms of how we approach music. And it's just been incredibly warm and open to listening to different types of music. We have a very different sound. We're, mixing Indian elements in our music, which dates back thousands of years in itself. So to get to do this to such an open and accepting audience has been absolutely incredible.
I love hearing that. And, to your point of your music is, and I'm a metalhead, but I also like prog. Your music is way more musicianship and musical and like composed opposed to just heavy and loud and fast.
Yeah, no, for sure. Well, just before I say anything else, I'm conscious we're just changing voices at this point, but that was Sumat Nemani speaking before me. He's our lead guitarist. My name is Ram. I play bass.
Nice.
As for the songs, yes, we have a lot of influences. Tesseract, for example, is a big influence of the entire band, who are similar in terms of a very high level of technicality,
Yeah.
but a really keen sense of rhythm. And we're 7 members in the band, so we have a lot of perspectives coming together, converging to create a song. So we have a bunch of appreciations for technicality. And more recently, I'd say we've also been leaning towards a lot of songs with really catchy chord progressions and really big sounding choruses. So I'd like to think that we want to reflect our name as much as possible. Our name Mishram means mixture in the language Sanskrit.
I love it.
So we want to represent that as much as possible in our songwriting. So yeah, I feel like we're always evolving.
What's cool about that is, okay, I've talked about this a lot. I come from a time where you could play this music or this music, and I prefer, like what you just said, like nowadays you have bands that have different influences and multiple genre influences that you can make this mixed sound that makes you unique instead of everybody sounding like a robot exactly the same.
Yeah, that's right.
I think it's also a testament to the evolution of how people listen, like, to music itself. I think people are a lot more accepting of hearing unconventional sounds and ideas more and more in mainstream music, which is nice. And I think we are able to do that because there has been that precedence building over the last few years, exactly like you said. Like, the music that I grew up listening to was like the 70s, 80s thrash, right? Like, I grew up Metallica and Maiden and whatnot. And yeah, so it's an evolution of the bands, it's an evolution of the audience perspectives itself, which is awesome.
So what I want to know is, 7 people in the band, how do you agree?
That's a wonderful question. We try to follow the principle of democracy. I mean, here's a side note. When we go on road trips, we do this thing called democracy where everyone plays a song like in sequence. It's like our thing, Mishram's thing. And that's been spreading like wildfire with our friend circles and so on.
Nice.
But coming back to the topic, yes, it's more of a democratic kind of a thing, what the majority wants. But sometimes there are ideas that might not, actually fit the song. And if someone feels strongly, then we talk a lot and then So it's mostly democratic.
And I still think it's incredible because to get 7 people to agree on stuff is hard work, And especially if everybody's different. And like even that you can come out with such a great sound with 7 people, 7 different musicians that, sometimes it's hard enough with 3 or 4 musicians for them to be in time together and be on the same page to where it sounds good. And so it's very impressive that you can take 7 and make that happen.
No, thank you. We try to be as meticulous as possible about how we execute our songs as well. I mean, Sumant and Shiva here work really hard with our sound engineer to create, the tracks that we play to during rehearsals and during stage performances that just enable us to execute to the highest level possible so that we're all on time.
Nice.
I just want to add a comment to your question. I think you said 7 people. I think of it as like 7 different perspectives, 7 different egos potentially.
Yeah.
But I think we started out, the cool thing is we grew up in Bangalore in India and we started out playing from the same college. We went to college together and we met. And we became friends first before we started playing music together.
Key.
So I think it's implicitly expected that the music and the song comes above our own perspectives, and we're always trying to strive for that. There has been songs that we've made that some people in the band did not even like at first, but we stuck through it because that's what we wanted to do, and we came out the other side loving it much more than we started out disliking it. So
you're right too, starting off as friends first, that's key, because it's hard enough to stay friends as a band as it is, that I think you need that foundation.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been 10 years now, and the fact that we've stuck through despite being in different parts of the world. 4 of us are in the USA. Sumant is in San Francisco. 3 of us are in Boston. Ram is in the UK, in Milton Keynes. And then we have another guitarist who couldn't make it here, unfortunately, who's in the Netherlands. And the flautist is in Bangalore, India. So we stuck together, and making this happen was a big task. Yeah, sorry.
You had it right. Magnanimous.
Yeah.
It's a hard word for us to say, too.
Especially after a performance that
I know,
energetic. Right? Brain farts.
Does it blow your mind that you're here at this festival that you haven't been to before, playing early, last day, everybody's partying on Saturday night, and there's a massive crowd out there.
Yeah, for sure. We try to live in the moment a lot, and we really enjoy spending time with each other. So we don't often just sit and reflect on how far we've come, but today we did. Just before going on stage, we had a band huddle, and we were all taking turns and talking about how far we've come, where we started in the small rehearsal room in our university, and where we are right now. It's honestly beyond what we could have dreamt at the time.
And it's great that you have that synergy together, because going back to that, you know, if you're on tour and you got to be around people all the time, you better like them.
100%.
You know, or else you might have something happen that happened recently on TV.
Yeah. Yeah. On that note, like, we'd like to definitely thank BPMI, Berkeley Popular Music Institute, as well, for making this an absolute reality. Because, as I said, we applied 5 years ago, but it became a reality only because, like, you know, we got auditioned, and so thank you, BPMI. Yeah.
That's great. So do you have anything you want to tell the listeners that we haven't touched on yet, that either about you or that's coming up?
We make music very slowly and carefully, but we are very, very active. We've got a whole bunch of tracks in the pipeline, potentially an EP sometime, maybe next year. But yeah, please check out our entire catalog. We've got very diverse set of music. We've got a jazz track. We've got like this EDM, dubstep, grime rap track. It's all over the place. I would really encourage you to check out all of our music. Keep supporting us on social media, because that's where everything happens today. Yeah.
And how do they reach you on socials, on the web, buy your merch, all that stuff?
Absolutely. You can find us. We are most active on Instagram. We're just Project Mishram on Instagram. YouTube is the same name, Spotify, Apple Music, all of that stuff. Merchandise is available on a link in our bio in Instagram. It redirects you to the right website, depending on where you are. We've got a whole bunch of merch, phone cases, and T-shirts and hoodies and whatnot. But yeah.
Nice. Well, glad to see you here at Louder Than Life. I want to see you at some more Danny Wimmer festivals.
Fingers crossed.
There you go. I'm putting it out there so Danny can listen to this later.
Make it happen. Thank you.
No, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure speaking to you, and it's just a pleasure being here in general.
Well, thank you for being here, and thanks for being on the Adventures of Pipeman.
Thank you for listening to the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY Radio.